dawn, walking all day, searching for anything you can eat. Hours and hours go by, and the result is zero, nothing. Before sunset, you head back with the group, exhausted, hungry, and honestly, just broken. No hunt today. Everyone's upset and frustrated, and fair enough. A little later, night starts covering the place. Everyone's cold now, crowding around the fire, trying to warm up before it dies out. And you think, that's it, the day is over. Tomorrow, we'll try again and catch something. But for one person, the day hasn't even started yet. He gets up quietly, grabs a torch, heads toward the cave nearby, and disappears inside, as if he's going to do something more important than food and sleep. He goes in and keeps walking, deeper and deeper. I'm telling you, the place is frighteningly silent. All you hear is his breathing, his footsteps, and the crackle of the fire echoing around him. Then suddenly, he stops in front of a rock wall and starts drawing. A huge bull, a running deer, horses, and strange symbols that to this day nobody truly understands. So the question is, why? What makes a human being whose whole life is a fight for survival spend hours inside a dark cave just to draw? And even if it was just for fun, why choose a place nobody would see? Honestly, I see this as a real mystery. We've always imagined ancient humans as simple people, eat, drink, and run away from animals. But the moment you see cave paintings like Chauvet or Lascaux in our dear sister nation of France, that idea starts to disappear from your head. Because whoever drew them wasn't just scribbling randomly, not at all. He clearly understood light, movement, and even the shape of muscles in some of those drawings. He used the curves of the rock itself, so when firelight hits them, you feel like the animal is moving right in front of you. I mean, our talented artist here, our friend didn't just draw on a wall randomly and call it a day. No, he used the wall itself as part of the painting. Yes, exactly. And that takes planning, imagination, and a mind that thinks in a pretty complex way. And that's where I have to ask a new question. If he had that much skill, imagination, creativity, and all that, why was he hiding his art deep inside caves? You see what I mean? Why not draw outside, somewhere everyone could see it? Why risk his life going into tight, dark places? Why hide the drawings? Or was he hiding the message itself and didn't want anyone seeing what it contained? Honestly, these questions keep coming back to me. They're the kind that make you want to report the whole thing to the Sheikh, as the great Abdul Nasser Darwish would say. Anyway, these questions puzzled archaeologists for decades. But over the years, strange evidence started to appear. Evidence suggesting that the placement of the drawings wasn't random at all, and that everything inside the cave had a reason. And what they discovered later made the mystery far stranger than anyone first imagined. At first, scientists thought these were just ancient artworks, nothing more. But as the years passed, they began noticing something odd, something nobody had really paid attention to. Every time they discovered a new cave, they found that the drawings weren't spread around randomly. Quite the opposite. Some parts of the cave were packed with images, while other parts had not even a single line. Why? What made those spots different from the others? To answer that, some researchers tried a slightly strange experiment. Instead of studying the drawings, they studied the cave itself. Yes, exactly. One of them was the French archaeologist Yegor Reznikov. He went into caves and started clapping, shouting, and hitting the rocks. Not because he'd lost his mind, but because he was looking for one specific thing: the echo. And after dozens of tests, a very strange result appeared. The places with the strongest echoes were the same places where most of the drawings were concentrated. So ancient humans weren't choosing a wall just because it looked nice or at random. They chose the place first and then they drew. But why? Honestly, my friend, even now, nobody can say for sure. But there is one very fascinating theory. Imagine yourself inside a completely dark cave. Darkness on top of darkness. You can't even see your own hand. Then suddenly you shout and your voice comes back from every direction. Once, twice, 3 times. You feel as if there are creatures around you, or as if the cave itself is answering you. For us today, that's just a normal echo, and that's it. But for a human who lived tens of thousands of years ago, maybe it felt like something completely different. Maybe he thought he was hearing the voices of spirits, or nature, or maybe even the animals he hunted. That's what he may have imagined. So the drawings and the sounds may have become part of rituals. Rituals that ancient humans performed inside caves. In other words, it may not have been about nice paintings at all. It may have been a complete spiritual experience inside the cave. But even that explanation, to be honest, still doesn't fully convince me. Because later, scientists came across one drawing that broke almost every theory. Deep inside the French cave of Lascaux, the one we mentioned earlier, there's a small place called the Shaft of the Dead Man. Inside it is a drawing unlike the others. A man lying on his back, a huge bull in front of him, and beside him a bird standing on a stick. It's a strange image, honestly, because the scene doesn't look like any known hunting scene. And between you and me, it's very hard to explain. Scientists try to connect it to some event from life in that period, but with no real result and no solid explanation. That's why this drawing became one of the biggest mysteries in archaeology. And instead of reducing the questions, it created even more. Was the man telling a story? Was he recording a real event? Or was he drawing something he actually saw? Or this, or that, or who knows what? And here, a new theory started to appear. Maybe the strangest theory in the whole story. But the story of these drawings didn't stop with echoes. As the tools for studying caves improved, details began to appear that scientists hadn't even thought about before. One of the strangest was that many drawings weren't just of animals. Next to them were short lines, dots, and geometric shapes that kept repeating in a really noticeable way. At first, scientists thought they were just decorations or meaningless additions. But in recent years, a team of researchers decided to study those marks again. After comparing hundreds of drawings from different caves, they suggested an exciting idea. Maybe those marks weren't drawings at all. Maybe they were a way to record and preserve information. Some lines may have represented a certain number of months. Some dots may have been linked to animal mating seasons or migrations. And if that theory is correct, it means ancient humans were recording events tens of thousands of years before writing appeared. Not with letters and words, but with symbols. And that completely changes how we look at these drawings. So let's say it again. They are not just works of art anymore. Now they look more like a record of knowledge. Yes, the researcher Geneviève von Petzinger spent years collecting symbols found in European caves. She examined more than 400 caves dating back tens of thousands of years. She expected to find thousands of different symbols, but what she discovered was the complete opposite. Most caves used a very small set of shapes. Straight lines, circles, dots, branching forms, and angles. In the end, she found that the recurring symbols numbered only about 32. The strange part is that these symbols appeared in caves thousands of kilometers apart, and some were drawn thousands of years apart in time. Yet the same shapes kept repeating. This doesn't prove they were a written language, but many researchers think they may have been the beginning of a shared visual system, a way to pass on information that members of the group could understand, even without writing in the way we know it today. And here the question began to change. In the past, before, scientists asked, why did humans draw? Today, the question is, what were they trying to record? Because most of those drawings didn't show everyday life. You rarely see people gathering fruit, building shelters, or cooking. The focus was on huge animals, symbols, and these strange, mysterious scenes. It's almost like the goal was to pass on information, knowledge that could help other groups or even generations after them. And when you put all the evidence together, the careful choice of caves, the way the drawings cluster in certain spots, and the same symbols repeating for thousands of years, you start seeing the whole thing differently. You catch yourself thinking, maybe these weren't just pretty pictures, maybe they were rituals, or maybe they were. The first way ancient humans tried to preserve knowledge, long before books, before paper, and even before writing itself. That's why, even today, every new cave archaeologists discover might hold another clue to the mystery of these ancient drawings and symbols. And honestly, after more than 40,000 years, we still look at those cave paintings through the eyes of archaeologists, not through the eyes of the person who made them. To me, that's the amazing part. Ancient humans managed to record their lives and knowledge so precisely that it stayed in the rock for thousands of years until we came along and tried to decode it. And even now, we still haven't cracked it. So, hoping we uncover the secrets behind these mysteries one day, I want to thank you all for watching to the end. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless you.